Prompt 1. I chose to take the Telio approach on this because it is a prime example of how the court system is supposed to work. I believe they were put in place so that they could mediate things like this. The Telio approach goes over the fact that a certain given thing has its purpose aside from everything else. By the U.S. Supreme Court denying to hear the case, they were also denying to give both parties a fair chance. The original lawsuit stemmed from the occasion where Miss Farmer was applying for a professor position at the university, and when she was hired in, she was offered almost $10,000 less than some of her colleagues. She chose to file against the college for unfair pay/compensation. When she approached her boss about the situation, she was told that it was because he is black and you are not. That is the main thing that started off her main desire to start a lawsuit. Many other colleges have had issues with this, as have many other companies. Unfair compensation has been an issue for years, whether it is race, gender, or even sometimes age. The university in this case based their employment on the other factors, such as race. They chose to hire a less qualified African American man in place of someone who is more qualified just because of his race. To me, these situations seem more ironic than anything because you create one situation to avert another and then it backfires, creating the same situation they were avoiding in the first place. This was decided to be a violation of the Equal Pay Act, and this could be another reason that the Supreme Court decided not to hear the case, knowing that it was already decided at its final point. This in turn let the lower court keep its decision. Also, by doing this, it was decided that it was a breach of the employee contract. Depending on what Farmer had originally requested, she settled for $40,000 in compensation. Prompt 2. It is very common for a company to make a merger, and even more common in an IT setting, because these companies all have so much in common, so it is easy to absorb another company inside of itself and create a larger business. The company that had taken over their original company is a very successful company and has many resources so that its ability to diversify into its different categories and expand into different branches. They are primarily a software company and primarily a broad range company. Merging to companies has positives to it. It adds a greater volume of corporate experience without having to add any additional resources to get there. This, however, has its downsides as well. This could mean cutting in places like downsizing separate departments and possibly letting people go. The changes in expense preference factors indicate management decisions which provide conditions allowing management to indulge in management-preferred expenditures while reducing risk to their career. The companies then provide a moral philosophic framework of ethical analysis for examining managers' merger decisions using teleological and deontological theories. They conclude that the merger decisions motivated or influenced by self-interest are unethical in this process, providing managers facing a merger decision with a framework for making an ethical decision. The same factors are examined for acquiring, acquired, and merging firms and similar companies in each case. The results support the company's contention that managerial discretion is a significant motivating factor for mergers. The changes in expense preference factors indicate management decisions that provide conditions allowing management to indulge in management-preferred expenditures while reducing risk to their career. Prompt 3. Canada has a much more open policy about diversity in the workplace, and they say that it is a large priority to their company. They said it was one of the most important influences so that they can stay current in a very demanding economy and competitive global market. Diversity in the workplace is a major strength. I personally believe that the U.S. is slowly coming to the idea that diversity can be a strength. I think that diversity is sometimes looked at as something that you have to go over once a week in meetings or a seminar that employees attend monthly to make everyone aware of how other employees should be treated. Using diversity as a strength should be a priority for companies and can be used as a major tool. Having different diversities in the workplace can explore new routes for a company. They can reach new people, learn more useful skills, and become a more versatile company by utilizing all of their employees' abilities. Most diversity management programs in Canada maintain that by enhancing workforce diversity is of tremendous significance for business organizations in today's competitive global urban markets. Since well-meaning diversity management initiatives have been largely ineffective thus far in dealing with workplace discrimination and racism in the Canadian workplace. Diversity management has emerged as more of a popular alternative compared to the employment equity and affirmative action, as voluntary corporate approach has perceived and enabled organizations to capitalize the benefits of a workforce diversity. Diversity management is less controversial, although diversity management has become a more popular term. Often under the rubric of corporate social responsibility, also known as CSR, in many multinational corporations, and largely refers to hiring visible minorities and increasing cross-cultural awareness and communication. It is viewed as playing an important role in reducing turnover, absenteeism, attracting competent workers, enhancing creativity and initiative, bringing about attitudinal changes, and creating greater inclusion of all employees into organizational structures. For the fourth prompt, I selected the first prompt being primetime TV. I think some of the classics are always shows like Law & Order and CSI. These are shows that have very high audience and are watched almost religiously by some people. I think that these programs targets that are after late night, after work, people who enjoy this type of content. I also think that the fact that they chose to air these shows late at night shows that they may also be able to reach younger viewers rather than like soap operas where you have viewers that are watching because they have always watched and they are on at prime hours of the day to cater people who are not working. I think that the message that they are trying to display is showcasing crimes that people have interest in, like high intensity crimes and things that people get attached to and easily follow. I think that the commercials target things like late night viewers would watch, like restaurants and retail. They also advertise things like new shows, because they know they have more viewers on late night TV than they do in the daytime. Also, those who tend to watch daytime TV may not always watch TV shows that air at night. I would say that they lean towards targeting a younger audience. I think that the commercials know the type of people watching the shows as well. So I think that they tend to lean more towards the younger audience in the way that they advertise. This is a big difference between daytime and nighttime prime TV. And there will always be companies that study those types of things so they can better learn their audience and market to them more effectively.